Hey guys, welcome to Spire Cupcake and Books once again. And today, I really want to do the Summerween challenge. I'm a bit late on it already, but I'm gonna go to my local library and try to find some thriller horror books because I've actually really been getting into like trying to find a really good horror book, even though I'm terrified of scary movies and horror. And I do like true crime, but with its limitations. But honestly, I just really want to try to read a horror book and thriller books and do the challenge. Might not be exactly like the challenge, so I'm just gonna go to the library and I'm gonna take you guys with me, and we're gonna go look through books and then study and do a few little other things on my computer and just check out some books. This is my little outfit to go to the library. I have these really cute beetle shoes. I'm gonna take you guys along with me. So I'm gonna take you guys along with me to the library and see what we can find. I have been visited by an alien. Oh, you are a soft and cute alien. Oh, you're so cute. You're so cute. I want to steal you. Hey guys, Spire Cupcake in here. Spire Cupcake and Books, and I am back home from the library. Do the the Summerween. And honestly, I've been getting so into, or just really like curious, and I really wanted to read some thrillers, some horror, and I got a lot of that at the library. I rented them. The thing is with me, when it comes to like horror, like even scary movies, and like I'm actually like a scaredy cat. Like I'm terrified. I used to be able to watch scary movies like nothing, and now it's like I don't even want that extra added stress those movies be giving me. But I feel like with the thrillers and the horror books, I'll be able to kind of like, if I read it, I think I'll get into it. Like I'll probably like start wanting to read thrillers and horror books all the time, because I feel like there's such a rush to that, and that excites me. Like I want to feel that rush of like a thriller, horror book, plot twist, all that stuff. But yeah, so I'm back home from the library, and the library has these little bags that say I love books. I rented a few, and I'm really excited to go over them with you guys. I'm going to tell you guys the gist of them on Goodreads, and let's get into it. These make my eyes look so big. That looks so cute. So grab something to drink, something to snack on. I made some hibiscus tea. So I am so excited for all of these books. I'm wearing my Mona Lisa socks. I don't know why I had to show you guys that, but I did. Go ahead and go on my Goodreads. I was actually looking for horror books on Goodreads to see what they're rated and stuff and see what they recommend. But a lot of them were just Stephen King, and I feel like the library, you just find new books and a lot of books you haven't heard of. I got all of these in the new book fiction area, and I mean, they're cool. I got Winning the True Crime. I felt like reading something that's not real, but I did get something of true crime. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 books that I'm trying to read. It might not all be like what the Summerween schedule is like, but we are reading horror and thrillers, celebrating a little bit of a summer, spooky summer. It's called After That Night by Karen Slaughter. It has 4.28 stars on Goodreads, and the synopsis of it is: after that night, nothing was ever the same again. 15 years ago, Sarah Linton's life changed forever when a celebratory night out ended in a violent attack that tore her world apart. Since then, Sarah has remade her life. A successful doctor engaged to a man she loves has finally managed to leave the past behind her. Until one evening, on call in the ER, everything changes. Sarah battles to save a broken young woman who's been brutally attacked. But as the investigation progresses, by GBI Special Agent Will Trent, it becomes clear that Danny Cooper's assault is uncannily linked to Sarah's, and it seems the past isn't going to stay buried forever. The next book we're going to be looking into is called The Last Murder at the End of the World. So this is The Last Murder at the End of the World. It has 3.72 stars, and let's read what it's about. Solve the murder to save what's left of the world. Outside the island, there is nothing. The world was destroyed by a fog that swept the planet, killing anyone it touched. On the island, it's idyllic. 122 villagers and 3 scientists living in peaceful harmony. The villagers are content to fish, farm, and feast, to obey their nightly curfew, to do what they're told by the scientists. Until, to the horror of the islanders, one of their beloved scientists is found brutally stabbed to death. And then they learn that the murder has triggered a lowering of the security system around the island, the only thing that was keeping the fog at bay. If the murder isn't solved within 107 hours, the fog will smother the island and everyone on it. But the security system has been wiped. Everyone's memories of exactly what happened the night before, which that means someone on the island is a murderer and they don't even know it, and the clock is ticking. This looks really scary, honestly, but I'm super excited. There's one book that I'm reading that today, girl. Like, that looks so good. It's called Diavoila by Jennifer Throne. Alright, so this book, Anna has 2 rules for the annual Pace Family Destination Vacations. Tread lightly and survive. It isn't easy when she's the only one in the family who doesn't quite fit in. Her twin brother, Benny, goes with the flow so much he's practically dissolved, and her older sister, Nicole, is so used to everyone, including her blandly docile husband and 2 kids, falling in line that Anna often ends up in trouble for simply asking a question. Mom seizes every opportunity to question her life choices, and Dad, when not reminding everyone who paid for this vacation, just wants some peace and quiet. Seems like a perfect place to endure so much family togetherness until things start going off the rails. The strange noises at night and unsettling warnings from the local villagers and the dark, violent past of the villa itself. Warning: may invoke feelings of irritation, dread, despair that come with large family gatherings. This is the 4th book so far, and it is called Lilith. And let's see what this little book is about. By Nikki Marmary. This has 3.59 ratings. In the tradition of Madeline Miller and Claire North, Lilith is the story of the first woman who was expelled from paradise for disobedience. In this retelling of the Hebrew myth that justified and explained women's subjection to men, Lilith will have her revenge however long it takes in the Garden of Eden. At the beginning of time, an outrageous lie is born that women are inferior. Lilith and Adam are equal and happy in the Garden of Eden until Adam decides Lilith should submit to his will and lie beneath him. She refuses and is banished forever from paradise. Demonized and sidelined, Lilith watches in fury as God creates Eve, the woman who accepts her submission. But Lilith has a secret. She has already tasted the fruit of the tree of knowledge. Endowed with wisdom, she knows why Asherah, God's wife and equal, the queen of heaven, is missing. Lilith has a plan. She will rescue Eve, find Asherah, restore balance to the world, and regain her rightful place in paradise. Lilith's quest for justice drives throughout history, from the ziggurats of ancient Sumer to the courts of Israel's Queen Jezebel, and to the side of a radical preacher in Roman Judea. In the modern age, as she observes the catastrophic consequences of a world built on equality, inspired by ancient myths and suppressed scriptures, Lilith is evocative literature voice and triumphantly engaging heroine. I don't know why, but I read like a little bit about it, and it sounds so good. So it's called We Ate the Dark. Valerie Pearson. It has 2.77 stars. And okay, so it's about 4 women investigating the haunting murder of their friend discover more than ever imagined in a terrifying novel about good and evil, love and death, and the spaces between. 5 years after Sophia Lyon disappeared, her remains are found stuffed in the hollow of a tree, bursting through the floorboards of an abandoned house in the woods. The woman who loved her flock home to North Carolina hills to face their grief. Frankie, Sophia's twin, is in furious mourning. Poppy is heartbroken. Cass has never felt more homesick. And Maria knows something the rest of them don't. Determined to find Sophia's murderer, they share more than the need to see justice done for their friend. Each woman is haunted, bound to the next by something both cruel and kind, now stalked by a shadowy presence they've yet to understand, only to question and to fear. As Sophia's secrets unravel, so do those of the woods, and the women soon realize that Sophia might not be who they thought she was at all, and that whoever or whatever killed her is coming after them. But it's called Stranger in the House, and that's creepy. So it's called A Stranger in Her House. This has 3.98 stars. A stranger has infiltrated your family and now he's taking over. Paul's just got here to help, or so he claims, sent by a charity for vulnerable people to do odd jobs for the elderly widow Gwen. But for Gwen's daughter Connie, there's just something about Paul that rings alarm bells from day one. He's a little too kind, a little too involved. Worse still, Gwen seems to have fallen under his spell. The last thing Connie wants is a stranger meddling in the safe routine she's built around Gwen. Loves being the one Gwen turns to for cooking, cleaning, and company. But the more Paul visits, the more Gwen is relying on him. By the time he conveniently finds himself between homes and has no choice but to move in, Connie is certain he's trying to push her out completely. It's her word against his, though as her attempts to unmask him become ever more desperate, she's not the only one left wondering if she's lost her grip on reality. But when events start spiraling rapidly out of her control, should Connie wage an all-out war on Paul and risk losing Gwen forever? Or has this been his plan all along? Thriller, mystery, psychological thriller. Womb City. Okay, so this is Womb City by Telo Tasmasi. This is a genre-bending African futurist horror novel which blends The Handmaid's Tale and Get Out in an adrenaline-packed cyberpunk body-hopping ghost story exploring motherhood, memory, and a woman's right to her own body. Set in a cruel, futuristic surveillance state where bodies are a government-issued resource, this harrowing story is a twisty, nail-biting commentary on power, monstrosity, and bodily anatomy in sickeningly evocative prose. Womb City interrogates how patriarchy pits women against each other. Just how far must a woman go to bring the whole system crashing down? This looks insane, like absolutely insane and crazy, and like, what? This has 3.7 ratings. The Last Podcast on the Left presents stories of murder and mayhem from history's most notorious serial killers. I mean, this is just like freaky. I don't even know. But let's look it up on Goodreads. So, the last book on the left, stories of murder and mayhem from history's most notorious serial killers. So, an equal parts haunting and hilarious deep dive review of history's most notorious and cold-blooded serial killers. From the creators of the award-winning Last Podcast on the Left, covers subjects spanning Jeffrey Dahmer, werewolves, Jonestown, and supernatural phenomena for all things macabre. The guys take a deep dive into history's most infamous serial killers, from Ted Bundy to John Wayne Gacy, exploring their origin stories, haunting habits, and perverse predilections. Each profile is an exhaustive examination of the darker side of human existence. Alright, so that's that. And so, guys, that is all of the books I got, the thriller horror books I got. And now I'm just going to pick one, and I'm going to start reading it, and I'm going to try to finish it in the next 1 or 2 days. I'm definitely not doing this Summerween. Summerween. It sounds so fucking weird when you say it out loud. But I definitely am not doing this the right way. But in spirit, I am reading tons of horror and thrillers. Basically, that's the vibe of all the books I got. I try to finish some of them and come back to you later with, my thoughts. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and namaste. Have a good night.